Hey guys, welcome to JasonWhiskyWise, and myself, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 62, where today we're going to review the Paul John Brilliance, which is the entry-level whiskey in the Paul John range. Now, speaking of the Paul John range, that is what we're going to do for the upcoming videos. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and you'll stay up to date with all the latest video reviews. And also be sure to like this video if you do enjoy the review by the end. Now, as I'm going to be doing the Paul John range, may as well get to it. So, in terms of the Paul John whiskey review, Paul John's range consists of the Paul John Brilliance, I believe the edited, bold, classic, and peated. But there's no point in me just saying it. Let me show you guys. There we are. So, as you can see, you've got the select cask, which is the classic and the peated. Both of these are bottled above 55% ABV. And then you've got the sort of entry level, which is the Brilliance, the edited, and the bold. But I'm not going to be going through all of them in one video. I'll do that along with the regional manager, Shilton Almeida, who will be featuring in one of my videos coming soon, and he'll take you through the whole range. And he's the regional manager for Paul John. So if you guys already don't follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, be sure to do so just over here, and I'll leave the links over there. But in the meantime, let's get into the review on the Brilliance. Now, also I want to mention, if you guys don't already follow Shilton, who's a regional manager, I'll leave his links as well over there. Be sure to go and follow him. He's an absolute class gentleman and just one of the most nicest people to meet. I've met him at every whiskey festival, and he's always there giving a smile and always willing to give you a dram, which is just superb, and just such a heartwarming person. So we'll pour ourselves a dram to begin the review. Now, if you haven't heard of Paul John, it's a distillery in Goa, India. So all the way in India, a very hot climate, and they produce these expressions. Now, I have reviewed the Oloroso cask, which you guys might see. I'll leave a link to that one at the top corner over here at the end of the video. But Paul John, based in Goa, India, whiskey matures at a much faster rate as it's a hot, humid climate. And you're looking at 3 to 5 times the faster maturity than in Scotland. So you're looking at a whiskey that effectively, if it's 4 years old and it's maturing 3 times faster, you're looking at a 12-year-old whiskey. This is what you get with Paul John. So I think you also get that with the Cavalans from Taiwan. Now, angel share in India is also, I believe it's between 8 to 12%, so it is much more than the 2% in Scotland, and therefore you lose a lot in the cost. So if you leave a whiskey for 20 years, you might be lucky enough to even get 1 bottle out of it. So it is quite something. So we'll start it off by pouring ourselves a dram. To begin my whiskey review style structure, this age of this whiskey is a non-age stated whiskey. I have been told it is 4 to 6 years old, but I'm going to say it's a non-age dated whiskey. The ABV is 46% ABV, non-chill filtered. The cask selection are ex-bourbon casks, and it does have a combination, I believe, of first fill and refill, but we'll do that when Shilton is here, as he'll take you through all the information in the more detail. Now, the distillery itself is the Paul John Distillery, which you can see over here, and the parent company that own them are John Distillers. And it is based in the region of Goa, India. So I'm going to be paying a visit there hopefully in the next 2 months. And I'll take you guys with me on the adventure to Goa, to Mumbai. We'll go, literally I've got family around India, so family origin is from India. So I can't wait to go there and take you along with me. Now, on the price point of view, this one does start at £30 to £35, depending on where you find it, which is superb. Because not many whiskey companies like to keep things in a very good open bracket. Everything likes to start at 50. So 30 to 35 pounds is the price point. In terms of exclusivity, it is not exclusive. And in terms of caramel color, there is no color added. This is what you see is what you get, natural color and non-chill filtered. And I believe they also mentioned that here somewhere. So yeah, on the back here, non-chill filtered. And this is also a non-peated expression, so no peat is used, even though Paul John do have peatier expressions, which you saw just a minute ago. So we'll begin my review style structure, starting with the color of this whiskey. And it does have a very nice sort of ambery, I'm going to say copper gold, but amber. I'm going to go with a healthy amber on this one because it does have a nice color, and it is natural color, so we assess the color. So next, let's move into assessing the nose. So into the nose. To begin my first initial impressions of the nose on this whiskey, you're looking at soft vanilla, quite creamy on the nose, very enticing, sort of reminds me of vanilla butter icing, quite soft and almost, as you'd say, sort of Reminds me of clouds, very soft. Takes you in a sort of a trance almost when I nose this whiskey. It's got a classic also nutty presence of almonds, which reminds me of those almond biscuits which I used to eat as a child when we used to go to the Indian shops. So getting a little bit of that, and then you get a little hints of those sort of heavier, sweeter presence of molasses and dried mango, bringing those sort of tropical fruits back into play. A little bit of sultanas, and what reminds me of even papaya. Very interesting on the nose, and then you get a little bit of, reminds me of pistachio nougat, and then a light tray of spices, which sort of, I'd say is a little bit of I'd say seasoned or cloves that have spent some time and not really so powerful, but quite soft, and then a little citrus burst almost on the palate of tangerines or marmalade. But then behind that, you are getting a little dash of cinnamon powder. So cinnamon powder infused together with marmalade. Really nice nose. So next, move into the palate, and we'll see what we pick out on that. So, initial impressions on the palate for this one. The texture starts out quite light medium, and then it develops instantly into a medium full, quite rich, buttery, mouth-filling, coating, as it works its way all over the palate. But honeyed barley is my first initial tasting on this one as well. You get those spices, a little bit of black pepper, cinnamon bark, spiced fudge, which is something I've tried recently. It's quite interesting, that little chewy character almost. A little bit of candied citrus peel as it works its way into the sweeter citrus notes. And then a little bit of a vanilla, but more vanilla pods, a little dried out, and you're just getting that sort of whiff from it, as if you tried to chew it. And then it works its way into a slightly more spiced, gingery warmth, making you feel quite nice and warm as it goes down. And it reminds me of what we use in Indian cooking, ajwain seeds. Quite nice and cool, but then when you bite into them and you crack them, the warmth develops. Really, really nice. So next, we'll move into the finish, and we'll give our final conclusion. So into the finish. So into the finish for this whiskey, it does start out quite, again, mouth-warming. A little bit of even watering as well. The flavors keep developing, but medium-long finish, I'd say. The citrus characters come back, and this is more citrus pith, so you're getting a little bit of a bitter tannins note, vanilla, quite creamy again. That was same on the nose, on the palate, consistent on the finish. And then it makes way for a slightly sweeter, sort of reminds me of honey, just on the finish, sort of rounding it all out. So in terms of my rating for this whiskey, I'm going to give my rating before, and then I'm going to finish this because I'm really loving this. Actually, I'm going to finish it whilst I'm giving my rating. Really lovely stuff. So my rating for this whiskey is going to be an 88 out of 100. Reason behind that, it's an entry level from Paul John. I'm looking forward to the other ones. But at the same time, it's got an incredible, nice, sweet character. Nice, bold spices, really making themselves well known. Very well rounded for an entry level whiskey. The nice sweeter notes as they make themselves through. A little slight oaky note, but I'm saying that's more into wood spices. A very nice, rich, viscous mouthfeel. And at its price point of view, at being around about 30 to 35 pounds, it's phenomenal. And it's an unpeated expression, so for those of you who don't like peat, just give this one a try, even if you do like peat, or if you don't like peat, whichever you prefer. Give this one a try, see what you think. But I think this is fantastic. As an entry-level whiskey, superb stuff. A very nice, rich character, this one. In terms of would I add water to it, personally, I would not add any water to this whiskey. And would I give it time? It's one of those whiskeys that you can crack open and drink immediately. The longer you give it, the more this whiskey actually does evolve. And I found that with the older, well, the other Paul Johns, they do evolve over time. But I'm going to give this a happy 88 of 100 for an entry-level whiskey. It's phenomenal, quite nice and rich. I love this one. So anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up on here. If you have enjoyed by all means, feel free to drop it a like. As always, feel free to subscribe, which will be down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out the Paul John Oloroso cards, which I'll leave over there, which is the limited edition one, which I reviewed. As I said, the subscribe button. And it's been JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video.